I get a lot of questions about how I color grade my drone shots. So in this video I will show you the exact workflow I use to get the most out of the DJI Mini 4K. I'm not a professional colorist, but since so many of you ask, I just want you to show my personal color grading workflow. But before we even get into DaVinci Resolve, there are a few things you need to get right before recording. It's really important to get your exposure right. If your highlights are blown out or your shadows are crushed, it's hard to recover that later. Because the Mini 4K only records in 8-bit, you have limited flexibility in post-production. That's why you have to make sure to set your white balance manually before recording. Fixing colors in 8-bit footage can quickly lead to artifacts or unnatural tones. Once I'm in DaVinci Resolve, I usually start by adjusting the color temperature if necessary. In this case, I want to make it a bit warmer to enhance that golden hour vibe. After that, I adjust my exposure and contrast. I like my images to have a bit of punch. I use the primary wheels for that and adjust my lift, gamma and gain. In this case, I bring the gain up to brighten the image and lifting the shadows a little. Then I fine-tune the midtones so the image still feels natural. I always keep my eye on my scopes, especially on my parade and waveform. I try to push the image a bit for that contrasty look, but without clipping the signal at the top or bottom. With 8-bit footage, if you push things too far, you can start to see banding or compression artifacts. So it's all about finding a good balance. I also like to use a bit of color boost at this stage, instead of relying only on saturation. It helps bring out less saturated colors while keeping already strong colors more natural. I think color boost gives me a bit more control in most cases, so I usually use color boost more than saturation. In this case, I think 20 is probably already too much, so I use 10. Now for the overall look, I usually apply a LUT as a starting point. I use a mix of built-in LUTs, some I have downloaded and a few I have created myself. In this case, I use this LUT. Since it's too intense for me, I turn the key output down a bit. Now I use a parallel node to make further adjustments. In this case I tweak my gain, gamma and shadows a little. Maybe I want more blue in my shadows. Maybe something like that. And a bit more red in my highlights. I think that looks quite good. At the end I like to add a vignette. I create a new node and use a power window to select the center of the image. Then I invert it. After that I slightly lower the gamma to darken the edges. Maybe something like that. That's my workflow. I know the Mini 4K isn't built for heavy color grading, but with a bit of care you can achieve amazing results in my opinion. I hope this color grading tutorial was helpful for you, so let me know down below in the comments how you grade your clips and see you in the next one.